Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2017. Now we are going to keep reviewing the new Pokemon GX. Today is Ninetales' turn, and I would say behind Tapu Lele and behind Sylveon, Ninetales is probably up there with one of the most hyped GXs of the set, so that's why I chose to showcase it. Ninetales GX has 210 HP, pretty decent for the stage 1s. It's like between 200 and 210 seems to be the norm, and Ninetales has overall really good attacks. Ice Blade, you're able to deal 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Obviously that's really good. You can snipe Pokemon you hit with Blizzard Edge, which deals 160 and finish them off. You can pay for that cost with a single DCE, which is also pretty good. That way you can swarm your Ninetales a little bit easier. And you have a really good GX attack as well. Ice Path allows you to move all damage counters from Ninetales onto your opponent's active Pokemon. So you essentially get a free heal whilst dealing damage. Now, we all are very aware of how good Mewtwo EX using damage changes and how important that is to the deck strategy. So having that as a GX attack means we only get to do it once per game, but usually with Mewtwo you only end up using it once as well. So if you find the right scenario, you can potentially heal your Ninetales, take a knockout, and your opponent has to be very aware of how much damage it's dealing to Ninetales to make sure that it doesn't get knocked out right back immediately, to make sure that it doesn't leave any easy targets on the bench, especially now that Tapu Lele can immediately search for the Lysandre, and therefore you don't need to struggle to find it. So that's Ninetales GX. Metal weakness, pretty good, as there aren't too many good metal Pokemon right now, and a single energy retreat cost is also pretty nice. Now, Alolan Vulpix, we actually get to have an attack which doesn't cost a single energy. Its attack is Beacon, which for no energy allows you to search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand. So you can essentially search for your Tapu Lele, you can search for your Shaman, and I mean, we're not using Shaman here, but I am using Manaphy in order to help with the retreat cost, and I am using a 2-1 Octillery line for extra draw support. So Vulpix alone is really good. It's a really good starter for the deck, and there's a benefit to just using your first Vulpix, maybe sacrificing it in order to further set up. And yeah, we have the Tapu Lele, so we can search for the supporter card we need. And I'm pairing Tapu Lele with this card, Brigette. I feel like Brigette has been very, well, maybe not underrated, but it just got a lot better thanks to Tapu Lele, simply because you don't want to run a high count of Brigette, because after you use it once, it's like you really don't need to use it anymore. But using it on turn 1 or even turn 2 is really good for any kind of deck, especially now these sort of decks where we have a basic non-EX Pokemon and we have the GX evolution. So Brigette, I'm sure we'll see a lot more play lately. And yeah, as far as supporters go, we don't have 4 Sycamore and 3N anymore. We have 3 Sycamore, 2N, 2 Lysandre. Now this is because we do have Octillery. Tapu Lele finds us the supporters more reliably than Shaman ever did, and we can also run one-offs such as Brigette, such as Hex Maniac, and such as Professor Kukui, so that Ninetales reaches the important numbers it wants to reach with its attack. Now I'll talk about that just in just a second. Aside from that, consistency, we have 3 Rough Seas for healing, we have 4 Seeker, 4 Ultra Ball, and 3 Trainer's Mail as always. We have 4 Aqua Patch, another of the most hyped cards of the set. We all know how good Dark Patch is in Expanded, so Aqua Patch being available in Standard and also in Expanded, I'm sure will bring a lot of new strategies to the table, and it combos really obviously with Ninetales Blizzard Edge, as Blizzard Edge discards 2 energy, and Aqua Patch can bring those energy back. It's also more reliable than Max Elixir, Max Elixir is better early on, but there is a chance you will whiff. And Aqua Patch can be really good early on, can be really good in the mid game, can be really good in the late game. So it's overall a better card. And it's also not restricted to basic Pokemon. It's restricted to water Pokemon, but the main Pokemon here is water type. We do have one Escape Rope, we do have 2 Choice Band, and with Choice Band, with Professor Kukui, and the base 160 damage, we can actually reach up to 210 damage. And funnily enough, all the new GXs and Fighting Fury belted Pokemon all have between 200 and 210 HP, as long as they're not stage 2s, so that hits perfect math to get knockouts on almost everything. We miss knockouts on things like Mega Ray. We might actually need to use a special counter or dedicated counter to Mega Ray, such as Sudowoodo from the new set, which limits bench for both players to 4. We might need to use a Parallel City here and there. There's definitely room to adapt for that particular matchup if it's going to remain as strong as it currently is. Finally, we have 2 Field Blower to remove Fighting Fury belts, to remove opposing stadium cards, to remove Spirit Links. And we have a single Rescue Stretcher, so we can recover our Ninetales line, so we can recover our Octillery, potentially our Manaphy, reuse Ninetales, or simply make our deck thicker, because we are now seeing a lot of style deck strategies such as Lapras, which just won Virginia Regionals, and the new Sylveon GX. The 2 Choice Bands work with Blizzard Edge, and we have 4 DC and 8 Water Energy as our energy count. So let's jump into a ladder, see how this list and this deck will fare. Now, there's a lot of ways to build a Ninetales-GX deck, I would say. I'm not saying this is the most reliable way. We're all testing the new cards and new ways to build decks. Especially, I feel like Tapu Lele allows you to have more flexibility in running single copies of supporter cards, and Garbodor might force us to decrease our versus Seeker count, to decrease our Trainer's Mail counts, and run higher counts of, for example, max out on N, run between 3 and 4 Lysander even. So it'll be interesting to see how those 2 cards actually force a change in the way we have to build our decks. Now, we get a pretty awful start with Manaphy, the absolute worst starter in the deck, I would say. And we're up against another water type deck with Aqua Patch. Arceus-EX, or Arceus-X, who also has a fully blinked out deck, but I don't think that's a demo account, so he's really spent a lot of code cards to get all those blink cards. Okay, so we top deck an Alolan Ninetales, we get a Water Energy, and we can't attack on turn 1. The energy and Manaphy will stay there because of its ability, but that's fine. We really want to retreat into our Alolan Vulpix, and I mean, it won't happen this turn, but I really doubt my opponent will be able to attack. Next turn we can search for another Alolan Vulpix and a Remoraid to get ourselves going. We can attach the energy. We're really going to rely on Octillery, and we can see my opponent is running a Shaman engine, so we should have the advantage with that, I would say. There's a Fighting Fury belt on the Shaman, so my opponent's hand is actually awful, but he does end us, so that will help us as well, which is really good. Another Alolan Vulpix, now we get a DCE, we get some energy, so we can start sniping with Alolan Vulpix. Unfortunately though, because of rough seas, it's going to be really hard to actually take a knockout. And the Shaman already has a Fighting Fury belt, which indicates to me that we're up against a Lapras Glacian deck of some sort, also the Max Elixirs, instead of a mirror Alolan Ninetales match. There's the Ultra Ball, getting rid of the Super Rod and the Water Energy. And there's the Lapras. Okay, so we are up against Lapras. Now, why? Oh yeah, he played the Max Elixir before the end, right? So there's... Wow. Oh wow. He actually got to take a knockout with Manaphy on turn 1. That's pretty ridiculous. That is actually pretty ridiculous. And he only has 2 cards in his hand. So we could actually attack back with our own Manaphy. Maybe that's the right play. We could start damaging the Lapras as well, but might as well. Let's just return the knockout. So 2 decks that one would assume focus on other Pokemon. We are actually going to see double offensive Manaphy. And we do get a Ninetales, so... I mean, Tapu Lele. Get a Mineral Pump though. If my opponent doesn't play Rough Seas, we should be able to knock him out. Because we do have the Lysander. Or even if he does retreat, as long as he doesn't use Rough Seas, we do have the Ninetales knockout on the Manaphy, which is pretty awesome. He will have Rough Seas though, and odds are he will be able to find it. But that's okay. If we play our cards right, we could actually get one-hit knockouts on Laprases. Okay, there's a retreat. We're gonna see the energy switch. But yeah, losing the first Alolan Vulpix really hurts. Really, really hurts. We haven't searched our deck yet, so we don't know if there's any Alolan Vulpixes prized, or if the Brigette is in there. But I'm gonna play the Tapu Lele to find the Brigette, to find the other 2 Alolan Vulpixes. I feel like that's the right play here. There's another Lapras. Knocking out the Manaphy means my opponent will have an extra energy for Aqua Patch. And yeah, I mean, he doesn't have reverse elixirs or super arts, but he has everything shiny, just like we do. Okay, so we get another Alolan Ninetales. Let's bench Tapu Lele, which is actually a pretty okay attacker as well. We do have Brigette, but yeah, there's 2 Alolan Vulpixes. That's awesome. And we'll also be able to grab the Remoraid. Now, I really wish my ability didn't work, so I could get one of those energies in the discard pile. There's the 2 Alolan Vulpixes and a Remoraid. They go directly to the bench. And I'm just gonna retreat and knock the Manaphy out with Ice Blade. That's pretty cool. So we get the first 2 prize cards. We only have N as draw, but we actually get an Ultra Ball. So if my opponent doesn't end me, we have a pretty good hand here. There's the Aqua Patch immediately for my opponent. There's an energy switch. Maybe there's an argument to use Ninja Boy here. I hope he uses the GX attack here though. I really hope he does. I really think he will. If he doesn't, I can Lysander and take a knockout on the Shaman and heal myself with a GX attack. Otherwise, with the Escape Rope, we can actually get rid of the paralysis, we can go into Manaphy and heal ourselves. But my opponent will smartly end, so odds of us finding the Escape Rope, the single Escape Rope, are not very high. Off of 4 cards, we do hit a Field Blower. There's another setup. Yeah, there's no way my opponent doesn't use the GX attack here. So he'll deal 100. That's okay. We can just prepare an Alolan Ninetales on the bench. It's really no big deal. It's really no big deal. I wish I had Water Energy in my hand though, so I could discard them and then use the Aqua Patch. Yep, he does go for the Ice Beam GX. So can we find our Escape Rope once again? We do find a Water Energy. And I guess I'll play the Field Blower. There's only 1 card to discard. Then I will search for Remoraid. I mean Octillery. Yeah, I think that's the right play. Just so that we get the maximum odds of finding the Escape Rope. So I'm gonna use Octillery's ability first. And wow, we actually do find the escape rope immediately. That's pretty good. I mean, not good for my opponent, but that's pretty good. Okay, so he promotes Lapras. I'm gonna promote Manaphy because that can retreat for free, and I kind of want to use the Sycamore. Yeah, I will use the Sycamore. And we find more DCs. We find one Aqua Patch, which we can use. Now, who do I attack though? Do I go after the Lapras? Do I go after a Shaman? Do I attack the active? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna power up. Wow. Oh, this might have been a mistake. If I find a Choice Band off of the train smell, I'm gonna kick myself. Because I could have knocked out the Lapras, and there it is. Oh boy. That was pretty silly. Well, I can still do it. Yeah. Oh no, I can't. I need... Oh, that was so dumb. That was so dumb, I did not realize that. That was actually really dumb. I could hit for 90. Set up another Ninetales-GX and then set up the Lapras for a knockout wherever it is. Gonna keep the Choice Band though. I mean, I don't have to threaten with a KO this turn. And if I find an Ultra Ball, which I don't, I'm not gonna grab anything. Well, wait, sure, I'll grab the Sycamore, but I'm probably going to end. So I will likely lose the Ninetales here. So I don't want to go all in on one Vulpix. So maybe I shouldn't have even retreated. I really messed up this turn. I could have gotten a knockout. Yeah, I really could have gotten a knockout. Kukui, Brigette. Fine. I'm not gonna play the other Aqua Patch though. I can Ice Path GX. Does that help me in any way? I guess it does. Yeah, sure, I'll Ice Path GX. I heal myself, I prevent a knockout. I pull Lapras in Blizzard Edge range, despite him healing with Rough Seas. He doesn't have Manaphy, so he cannot easily retreat. I have a 1 energy retreat cost, which is pretty easy to pay for. And as long as I find an Alolan Ninetales next turn. Okay, there's an Ultra Ball, so does my opponent play 2 Manaphy? We're about to find out. Alolan Vulpix is so cute. So cute. Many people would agree, I'm sure. Okay, so there's a Manaphy. But now my opponent, like, there's no way. Oh no, are you gonna KO my Vulpix? No, he goes for Center Lady, that's fine. I really don't mind to see that as a supporter for the turn. He did not attach an energy. Wow, so we can actually... Wow. Okay, this is the perfect turn as long as we find an Alolan Ninetales. We know there's Ultra Balls. We know there's Alolan Ninetales in the deck. So all we need to do is hit one off of... Okay, shall I use Octillery first? What cards could I draw that I don't want to discard? I need to get closer to Alolan Ninetales. If I hit the Alolan Ninetales this turn, I am good to go. And there it is. Wow. There it is. So I'm getting pretty lucky, honestly. Getting pretty lucky here. And now I don't even need to Sycamore away all these cards. I could Kukui, I could Brigette, I could even Hex Maniac. Hex Maniac would not help me. Do I have Lysander in my discard pile? I do not. So maybe N is the right play. Looking for a potential Lysander knockout next turn. Well, actually nothing. Okay, I'm just gonna go for the Sycamore. I want to make my deck thinner. I need to find the other Choice Band. I actually find another Aqua Patch, which is pretty awesome. I can have the Alolan Ninetales ready to go. I make my deck thinner. I set up another Alolan Ninetales. Yeah. We did not get the Lysander we wanted. We also did not get the Aqua Patch, but that is okay. Because we can discard the DCE right here, right? For the Blizzard Edge cost. There's 190 damage, knockout, and there's a DCE. So the active Ninetales should survive anything that my opponent does. There's a Choice Band, the second Choice Band. There's even a Rescue Stretcher. So we have the DC to retreat. We have the other Alolan Ninetales powered up. So if my opponent uses N, he loses because we can just retreat and probably knock out anything, as we do have Octillery for support. And if he uses Lysander to stall, he loses because we have the energy to retreat any single Pokemon. And there's a victory. Wow. I am actually very impressed by the raw power of Ninetales-GX. I mean, Vulpix is cute, but Ninetales is just so powerful. So powerful. And yeah, let's look for another opponent. Really liking this build though. Really liking this build. Okay, we're up against a Fire Psychic colorless deck. This might be Turtonator. I really hope it's Turtonator, but just by being fire, my opponent is at a big disadvantage. It might be an Espeon Flareon deck, potentially. I'm not entirely sure. The Charmander deck box doesn't give us too much information. I really doubt it's a Charizard deck. Could be Mega Charizard, but it's not very competitive. And we do get to go second. So we start Remoraid. Haven't started Alolan Vulpix just yet. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. I really wish I had an Ultra Ball though. Like, turn 1 Ultra Ball into Brigette into 3 Alolan Vulpixes. That just seems really strong. And Volcanion, okay. Volcanion. Okay, so Trainer's Mail, Ultra Ball for Hoopa. Wait, but I didn't see Water, so he doesn't have Volcanion EX. Is he just running Turtonator with no Volcanion EX? Is he running Flareon? Is he running... what is he running? We see a Skyla and a Scorched Earth. Discarded immediately. Oh wow, it's actually an Incineroar GX deck. Okay, that's fair. Honestly, this should be a breeze as long as we can set up. So I'm even tempted to use the Sycamore instead of the N, just to guarantee that we set up. We see a Tapu Lele for a turn 1 Lily. That's actually pretty good. Full art Lily as well. Yeah, Tapu Lele just... yeah, like running 1 Lily, 1 Ninja Boy, 1 Hex Maniac, 1 Centaur Lady, 1 Brigette. All of that is now completely viable thanks to Tapu Lele. And we see a Fliptini. Wow. Does Incineroar have an attack that flips coins? I don't think it does. I don't remember generally, but... yep. There's a Victini. There's an energy for Scorched Earth. And there's an energy for Power Heater. An Aqua Patch top deck. That's not very nice. Am I afraid of my opponent's deck? Not really. But let's play the Field Blower. And let's use Sycamore. We want those Vulpixes, and we do not find them. We can find one. Can get rid of the Rescue Stretcher. We can get rid of the Field Blower to find one Alolan Vulpix. We could go for Manaphy as well. Okay, is there Brigette in the deck? It is. The issue is... okay, Octillery is prized. That's not good. So maybe I should just go for Manaphy. Yeah, I'll go for Manaphy. That's fine. And I'm not scared of Remoraid getting KO'd next turn, so I'll just pass here. I mean, it's gonna take us a little bit longer than normal for us to set up, and we're gonna lose our second Aqua Patch and already one TCE. But every time we attack, we're gonna take a knockout. And my opponent really should not be able to knock us out in one hit. Okay, there's a versus Seeker for Skyla. Skyla will fetch him a rare candy most likely, so that he can go to Incineroar GX. There's a rare candy. It's like I'm psychic and I can predict what my opponents do. Okay, Ultra Ball for the Incineroar, and then he will power up the Incineroar, but dealing 20 times each fire Pokemon. Well, 10 plus 20, I guess. There's a rare candy, Incineroar. Worst case scenario, he attaches an energy, retreats, and knocks out the Remoraid. Of 3 cards, he needs a switching card and an energy. He already used a supporter card, but no, everyone just goes for the power heater. Okay, so it's now our turn. We actually top deck one of the Alolan Vulpixes, so I might be tempted to just end here, because like I want to start attaching energy, I want to start setting up, so I'm gonna grab the end instead. I don't want to lose the second Aqua Patch. I really don't. So I feel like they're gonna be important for us to always stay ahead of the price count. So even though we help our opponent with the end, that is completely fine. We find the Brigette, we find an Ultra Ball, we do find a Water Energy. And I mean, I could discard it and attach the DCE. Nothing on my opponent's bench has 50 HP though. Nah. I will just pass here. I will just pass. The next turn we could just attach an energy and Sycamore away. Potentially Ultra Ball for another Alolan Vulpix. Another Victini, wow. Incineroar. Well, I guess it does have the Tiger Swing attack. For a potential 180 damage, that's not bad. Average 130. My opponent taking a long time to decide what to do. A very long time. There's the Ultra Ball. Discarding Litten and a Lysander. Now, if you're playing Incineroar, I'm really surprised we haven't seen a Skyfield yet. By Chris Roy 71. There's our Seeker, probably for Lele this time instead of Skyla. So you can draw an extra 4 cards. There's an N. So that's fine. And our deck is pretty... wow, it's actually a pretty bad hand. We do find another Alolan Vulpix, but I don't know, an Aqua Patch, but do we really want to use Blizzard Edge on a Volcanion? Not really. Our opponent does us a great favor except not really, because I can't retreat and Aqua Patch in the same turn. Okay, so we'll just have to deal some damage. Wow, and more energy. Wait, what? I don't have a single water energy? Okay, so I'm just gonna end once again. And there's a Ninetales. Finally, there's a Ninetales. Pretty good to see. So I'm gonna discard the water, so I have Aqua Patch targets. I'm gonna go for another Alolan Vulpix. We now have all 4 Alolan Vulpixes in play. Definitely want to build this deck in real life. And we shall Ice Blade. I think we Ice Blade the active, because then we just look for the Choice Band and we get a knockout. But if we don't, then it's a waste of an Ice Blade. But everything would be a waste of an Ice Blade. Maybe just not on the Volcanion. But fine, I'll try to go for the Choice Band play. 90 damage, potential 90 damage, potential 180 damage too, off of Incineroar. Both things are a possibility. There's a versus Seeker. My opponent will not end me this time, no. He will go for Skyla. "27 cards left in her deck, assuming both Choice Bands are there because I did not check." Oh, now we need a Choice Band and a Stadium, or we need an Energy, an Aqua Patch, and an Alolan Ninetales if we don't find the Stadium. That would be the least ideal scenario, I guess. Oh, never mind. He goes for the GX attack, and with a burn, he gets a knockout. Ugh. This is so annoying. This is so annoying. Okay, now we need Energy, Alolan Ninetales, Stadium, and Choice Band. That's 4 cards. We probably won't hit 4 cards out of 7. We might hit 2, perhaps 3, but not all 4. Ah, I really can't lose to an Incineroar GX deck. Okay, there's the Energy. So now we just need Ninetales, Choice Band, Stadium. And we only get Ninetales. We only get the Ninetales, okay. So I'm gonna Aqua Patch. Okay, now I really don't want to attack the Incineroar. I really don't. So I will Ice Blade the Volcanion. We should be able to go for Lele. We should be able to Sycamore once again, and that Sycamore should give us the Stadium plus Choice Band, or just 1 energy knocks out the Incineroar. Maximum damage output right now is 90. For him, he cannot use a GX attack anymore. Well, I guess he can flip twice. How many Flip-Tinis can he use? Just 1. So he might deal 130 damage. 130 plus 90. That is a knockout. So we really need our Stadium. Ideally, Stadium Choice Band for a knockout. It's difficult though. Wow. I mean, Incineroar is just causing us way more trouble than it should be. My opponent actually decides to Lysander up Manaphy and goes for the Tiger Swing. He flips 2 tails. He will use the ability, and he does flip 1 head, so now he does have, he's down to 1 prize card, and we have yet to take a single prize card. Okay, Trainer's Mail finds us the Rough Seas. Okay. Can Lele find me a Sycamore? Yes. And there's only one Choice Band though. It's only one Choice Band, 2 Aqua Patches, 2 TCE. So I cannot rely on the Choice Band. Kukui is not enough. So who do I attach the energy to? That's the question here. Do I just secure the knockout? I think that's the right play every time. Even though I'll be dealing way too much damage. Yeah, this is the right play, and if I hit the Choice Band, then I don't need to discard my energy, and I do hit the Choice Band. So that's pretty good. Now we have to hope my opponent doesn't have Lysander energy to knock out the Vulpix. If he doesn't, we can probably turn this around. If he does, then we are in a lot of trouble. And finally we take down that annoying, really annoying Incineroar GX. The Ninetales we needed to guarantee that my opponent would not beat us this turn. We get out of the prize cards, but my opponent does immediately promote the Volcanion. That's pretty good. That lets us know he doesn't have the Lysander energy play, or he messed up. Either way, our Vulpix is fine. So now as long as he doesn't end us, we should be good. There's a Skyla, so he will not end. Does he Skyla for a level ball for another Litten? What does he do here? Yeah, we are good now. We are good. We will make the 6-1 prize comeback, I'm pretty sure. Skyla for versus Seeker. Probably to try to guarantee the Lysander. He's telling me, if you don't end me, you lose. Which is fair. It's definitely the right play. But I will definitely not let my opponent pull that off. And yeah. I'm gonna attach the energy. I'm gonna attach another Choice Band. I'm gonna evolve the Vulpix, so now my opponent has to deal with at least a Tapu Lele, if not an Alolan Ninetales at full HP. And so, knowing that, I could actually Lysander and knock out the Incineroar. Is that the right play? Yes, because the next turn, if he ends me, that's fine. He has no threats left after I knock out the Incineroar. He really has no threats left. So let's just Blizzard Edge. We deal 380 damage, way more than we really needed. We get the Octillery and we get a Remoraid. But I mean, my opponent does have versus Seeker. Does he versus Seeker and end himself down to one card with no Litten in play, only Victinis, a damaged Volcanion? We discard energy. Tapu Lele is not gonna take a knockout. It doesn't apply weakness, so our Tapu Leles are safe. He cannot end and Lysander in the same turn. But there's a level ball for no Litten. Is the last Litten priced? Do you think the last Litten is priced? Oh no, wow, there's actually 4 Litten in the discard pile. Never mind. So we do see an energy on the Lele. My opponent doesn't end us, we win. If he does end us, we still win. It'll just take a little bit longer than we would like. Our deck is also pretty thin. It's 13 cards, we draw 2. 14 cards, sorry, we draw 2. We get an energy and we get an Escape Rope. So there's a Power Heater. There's another energy on the Lele, so now he's dealing however amount of damage that is. I cannot bench the Remoraid here though. I really can't. If I attach the energy to the Ninetales, Lele does 120. Even if for some reason he plays TCE, he would deal 160. So still not enough. Definitely not enough to KO Lele. So if I attack with Ice Blade here, that's a game. That's the game. Definitely the game. And wow, I just realized that Ninetales-GX's attack is actually better than damage change, because you don't damage change, you just return the damage counters. So I was a little bit wrong on that. We do see an energy drive, so now we just need to hit a water energy to win this match, and that's exactly the card we top deck. And we will knock out this Lele with Blizzard Edge. So yeah, wow. Pretty impressed by Alolan Ninetales. Pretty impressed. We didn't get to use Alolan Vulpix's attack, despite how cute it is, but I'm sure we'll have more opportunities to do so in the future, and during actual games I'm sure it will come up where using that attack will be to your benefit. So yeah, that'll cover Alolan Ninetales. Two pretty good matches. I'm surprised how well Incineroar was able to deal with the threats. We had a slowish start, but I was generally surprised. And with that, I will leave the video right here. Please leave a like on the video if you can, really helps out the channel. We have the 100 like goal right here. We did reach 100 likes for the previous two videos, so I hope you guys can help me with that with this video as well. And I will see you tomorrow for more of the new Guardians Rising GX Pokemon action. We have Drampa, we have Lycanroc, and we have Tapu Koko pending for this week. And we might have Pokédex on Friday, we might not. We might have something like Wishy-Washy or maybe Metagross GX. If you have any preference, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.